for having me here. Today, what I want to talk about today, this month is the month of technology. And so when Dave asked me to speak, I was like, I'm a sales guy, I'm not a tech guy. And so I wanted to change it up a little, right? I wanted to give you guys the 5 key technologies that you should still be using to increase your conversions. You see, we live in a world where technology and automation has become paramount above everything else. But very often that automation and that technology can be a detriment to our conversion rate. So how do we keep our conversion rates high even through all of that? Well, there are 5 key things that salespeople have been doing for years that you really need to just be doing every day, right? Well, not every day, but you just need to be doing. So the first thing, right, and I just know the business broker is going to go, well, that's exactly right. Keep a sales journal. Number 1, if you don't have a sales journal, then you don't know what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. Now, what's a sales journal? Every time you go into a sales meeting, you finish the sales meeting and you go to your little black book or your little red book or your little pink book or your little talking book, as Donna would have, right? Because she doesn't listen, she just talks. Right? So you go to your little book, and what you do is you write down what happened in the meeting, right? So how you do that? I'm going to give you exactly how to keep this sales journal. Firstly, 1, the date that the meeting happened on. 2nd, the name of the person or business that you're selling to or trying to list, right? 3, what happened in the sales meeting. 4, what went right. And 5, what needs to be improved or what went wrong. And then the last thing, number 6, is the result. That's it. It's that simple. Now, the first time you use this sales journal, it'll probably take you 10 or 15 minutes to do it because you'll be like, how do I do this? I've never done this before. This is difficult. But after doing it 2 or 3 times, at the end of every sales meeting, it'll take you 3 to 5 minutes. That's it. 3 to 5 minutes every time. But what it will do is give you absolute clarity over what is happening in your world and in your sales meetings, and it'll allow you to increase your conversion rates very quickly. In fact, one of the very first things I teach any of my clients is keep a sales journal. And without teaching them anything, their conversion rate increases because suddenly they become aware.
Do you have a tool? Do you have a CRM or a tool you recommend?
No, I'm saying keep a physical, written sales journal, right? Now, if you do it typing it into your phone, okay with that, because it's still the act of physically doing it, but what I'm trying to move you away from is getting something that automates that process for you or keeps it there because it's too difficult to get to, right? It needs to be accessible. You jump in the car, you pull out that little book that Jim's got, and you start writing down, right? This is what happened. It needs to be instant and on the spot, right? And it can be on your phone. It can be digital. That's fine, right? I've got a thing called a Remarkable, which is like a electronic notebook, effectively, and I use that. But you have to have a sales journal. That's number 1. Number 2, right? And this is the one that everyone's going to go, oh, I do that with my CRM. My CRM does this, and it keeps my pipelines, right? An Excel spreadsheet, and I said Excel spreadsheet, that is a KPI spreadsheet. Now, what do I mean by a KPI spreadsheet? Not who are your leads, where are they from, what's the prospect's name, and where did you get the sale, and any of that, and how much was the sale for. I don't want any of that information. The KPI spreadsheet is just what's my target for the month or the week, right? And then every day you go in to the KPI spreadsheet, you take 5 minutes, and you enter in these figures. How many leads you generated today? How many sales meetings you booked today? How many sales you made today? And what were those items, right? So if you sell more than one thing, then what were those items, right? So let's say you have 5 different packages. You want to know what you're best at selling. So when I look at my KPI spreadsheet, I always notice that I'm best at selling premium items. The highest item I have, that's what I'm good at selling. That's what I've always been good at, right? Low dollar items, I suck at selling them. Probably because I don't want to. I figure that's the key. However, but I know what I'm best at selling, and so I target that product. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, the cool thing about it is if you keep this every day and you enter those figures every day and you set the spreadsheet up to tally weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly, again, it'll give you absolute clarity over where you're at, what you're doing, and how you need to improve. And so the first two things I want you to do is sales journal, so you know what to improve in the meeting, and KPIs, so you know the numbers and how you need to increase and improve your numbers. Right? So they're the first two things. The third thing I'm going to check my phone for, because it's right on my screen. There we go. The third thing, and this is the one I find is missing mostly in this day and age because everything is automated. Right? Who here takes collateral to a sales meeting? One person. There's yeah, I love that response. Collateral. What's collateral? Right? So collateral is physical or digital documentation that people can see and know what your business does, or see what the packages are, so that it's laid out in front of them, right? Because you see, what happens is once you do that, right? Once you do that, and when you do that, what happens is you are allowing someone the visual cue to not forget what it is you're offering. And so what happens is we often ask a bunch of questions, then we start selling, oh, my package does this, and my thing does this, and it's going to solve this problem for you. And they get 5 minutes down the track, and they've forgotten what you offer anyway. And so when they don't make a decision, they either start asking you questions like, so what happens again? Or what's this doing? And then they walk away, and they have to think about it. Why? Because they're confused. And the confused mind doesn't buy. It's that simple.
I like that.
Right? You need collateral, so there's a visual cue to keep them and you on track with your sales pitch. Now, this doesn't have to be a physical copy. For instance, me, I have a landing page. It's a very simple landing page where you can, and I'm happy to send it to all of you so you can all have a look at it. It just has who I am and what my sales model is, what the items you're getting in that one particular package, and then what the price is of that particular package. And that's all it has. Now you'll notice I said one particular package. Don't have a piece of collateral that has all the packages on it, because your job is to make an authoritarian or an expert recommendation to this person. Does that make sense? Expert recommendation. And so if you can't make an expert recommendation, that means you haven't asked enough questions. So you need to know what is best for them, because that's why they're coming to you. Right? Now, the fourth thing. So there's two more to go. So they're the three. The fourth thing, it's my favorite one. Pick up the damn phone. Pick up the phone. Right? Stop sending an email to book a meeting. Stop trying to sell people on Facebook Messenger or over a TikTok video. Right? One of my favorite ones, actually, and this is really funny because it actually was a business broking client of mine that came to me and said, oh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell my businesses by filming a video that tells people about the business instead of having a meeting, because I'm going to automate the process. I'm like, that's not going to work at all. There's not a chance you are going to get someone to commit to buying a business through a video. And the same thing applies to coaching programs, to websites, to almost anything. And I had a guy that came to me to sell me wealth coaching, right, through Messenger. I reached out and I said, you know what, this seems interesting. I'll have a look at that. You know, and I kept saying to him, can I have a meeting? Can I talk to someone? Didn't want to do it. Just wanted me to buy an $11,000 program through Facebook Messenger. Now that same thing applies to asking for a meeting over email. Now I'm not saying you won't get a conversion rate, because you will. People will book in. But would you rather a 30% conversion to a meeting or a 60% conversion to a meeting? Because that's a hell of a lot of money. So pick up the phone.
Yeah. Andrew, can I just double confirm that? I referred a client a couple of weeks ago. It's going to be a $20,000 IT solution. The guy did a 30-minute call on Zoom. The client rang back and said, Steve, I didn't understand it. That's good enough for me. I need to see that person, but that person doesn't do first face-to-face appointments. 20 grand lost.
Exactly, right? I had a, so that's a really, really big, pick up the damn phone, book a meeting, and have face-to-face meeting. Well, that's good that I've got 2 minutes left because I'm on my last one. So
Okay.
I've done it, I've nailed it. Yeah. Right, so, last one, and this is the one that everyone has gotten out of doing these days, but when I look around the room right now, I think I'm in the wrong crowd to give this advice. But effort and energy.
Oh yeah. And
Effort
persistence.
and energy. I don't care whether you rock up to a sales meeting dressed in a suit or dressed casually. It doesn't. That's not the issue, right? Professionalism these days, let's be honest, it's gone out the window, and personally, I like that. Right? I don't want to rock up in a suit and be hyper professional. I don't think anyone here does want to do that, except for Brownie, obviously.
I want to try it here. Come on.
Right? However, if you rock up looking like, excuse the language, shit, then you're not going to make a sale. I was talking to one of my clients about it. As much as you don't want perception to be a thing, and you don't want people to judge you based on your look, and you know they do. That's the world we live in. And so if you want to make money and you want to make sales, put the effort in to look good. I don't care how you're dressed. You can be dressed in shorts and nice shoes, but you need to look good. Your hair needs to be brushed. You need to smell nice. You need to not have bad breath. Those things, you've got to take that into consideration. If you're sitting across the table from someone and you're going, and they're like, dying on this side of the table, but they're sitting there going, They're not listening to what you're saying. They're listening to, how do I not throw up in their head? So take care. Put effort in. It's really important. And as part of effort, energy. I know that my energy is hyper. I've got a blaze energy, right? That's who I am. And I know that not everyone has the same type of energy as me, right? Or the same style of energy, I will say. But there are types of energy. There's like high energy, happy energy, positive energy, optimistic. There's all these different types. And if you rock up to a meeting with, oh my God, I'm not going to make the sale. Oh my God, I'm scared. Oh my God, I don't want to be here. Then I can promise you, it's not going to happen. Not in a million years. And so one of the biggest piece of technology I can give you today, out of all of those things, is when you walk in a room with such conviction, such confidence that you know this person is going to buy, that you know that you're going to get the outcome from the meeting that you want. But hang on a minute, you have to know the outcome that you actually want from the meeting first, right? So energy, guys, and it's not about having my energy. Have high energy and great energy in your own way, whatever works for you. Now, guys, they're my top 5 pieces of technology that you should still be using to increase your sales conversions. If any of you need a hand with that, just reach out. I'm always happy to help. Thanks, Ips.